All right, guys, happy Monday. The reason why I did this follow-up call is, last night we had our webinar. We talked about what potentially could happen. Matter of fact, we could even bring up, the footage. So when we were looking at the market last night, we said, you know what? Price more than likely will be heading back into a higher low, coming back deeper to make a discounted higher low would make sense because of all this continuation trade last week, last Thursday, Friday. Price needed to come back to correct. Now, obviously, price could have done whatever. But this morning, when I woke up today and I was looking at the market, yes, I saw it buying. But remember, I've been telling y'all, as long as price does not go past London highs, you're not fooling me. As long as price does not go past London highs, you are not bullish. You are actually finna sell. So how we confirm that is we wait for price to reject up above an order block or reject above London. In this case, we saw, 355 up until 6. We saw this on the left right here. And so I was like, okay, let's wait for a rejection or a break and retest on the 5-minute time frame that would confirm the sells. And so price gave the break and retest. And so trade taken, stop loss above London, targeting the lows. At least this low right here would have been fine. And that could have just been your trade. Within 20 to 30 minutes, this thing played out to the T. About 200 points to the downside, even though we did expect price to come near or closer to this area, as we said in the webinar last night. Okay. Here's another thing I want y'all to see. This is a break of structure. And typically on Fridays, if we see price give out a break of structure to take out highs, that usually means when the market opens again, they're going to be coming back in to make a higher low. Because this is a break of structure. Break of structure coming back in. Okay. So the missing piece was that whoever thought price was going to continue on buying didn't piece together London's high right here that didn't even get broken. They stopped it out, buy side liquidity sweep, and then you just drop down into the M5. You see the break and retest, you take the trade. Okay, so that's why this setup was a very clean setup. And so was Nas. We saw price. This was London. Started buying. And then once we get this right here and price is just going above London and just can't really break above it, we're giving you a break and retest. Go down to the M5 or M3, look for a break and retest. I guarantee you, even if you think you may be wrong, tell the market straight up. Look, for me to be wrong, you're gonna have to go above London highs. If you don't, that's your business. We finna see. Stop loss above London. If you don't go above London and you don't break above that, I'm gonna be in the sell until further notice. Give that trade 30 to 45 minutes, see what happens. Uh, did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Alice, did you hear it? Did the volume go back up for you to hear it? I broke it down for US 30 and then I ended up breaking it down in Nas. I didn't even see the comment. Hopefully you caught it the second time. Okay. And let's be honest, these setups are the setups. These setups, I'm going to repeat it a third time. When the market on the 4 hour time frame breaks structure, we know it's most likely going to come back to make a higher low. So if we suspect it's going to go above and retrace back inside the range, when we pull up in New York and the market is buying, we have to watch out for London session on the left side. If price cannot break London highs, then we got the confirmation we're looking for. Then we drop down into the M5 or M3 or even M1 to follow up with the price action from London session highs. We're looking for a break and retest. Once we find it on the break and retest, we're going to put the stop loss above London highs, expecting to target London lows. That's the trade. And I wanted to bring this up with y'all to get y'all to be very clear on the setup because I want to see y'all get not only payouts, but strong payouts. You know, a lot of you guys I know have been wanting to scale up. Y'all want to see 5K payouts. Y'all want to see 10K payouts. But y'all still don't have like a first sure trade, like a first sure setup that you know exactly how it behaves, exactly what you should look for, and exactly when to add a little bit more size. This is that setup. Out of a few others, this is that setup.
Yeah, that's exactly how I've been feeling lately.
Yeah. That's that setup you pull up on Monday. You don't care what day it is. You see that setup, you know what time it is. Stop loss going to be placed above London highs, break in retest, going to the opposite side, and we're going to catch a vibe. Okay. So,
Quick question.
yeah.
How did you know it was headed for a sale last night? What break of structure did you see? What hour was that?
So, when I saw that Friday closed out breaking structure um last week, I'm like, more than likely we're going to see price come back in. So, I know you guys, for the most part, trade what US 30. We since Thursday, right? We had post FOMC the next day after. We saw price break structure, break structure, break structure. And then Friday, when I spoke to you, Dina, we saw that the market had trouble going up past this point, past this 4 hour high. You know, that was the last time price made this high right here. So I pulled up in the next week. And we know like those other things going on fundamentally with Trump talking or whatever. But on a technical side, we saw that price started off like this, opened up here, and then we started selling a little bit all throughout Asia. So this morning, even though, yes, I can tell like this demand zone was tapped. And in the beginning of the session, I did see the market look a bit like it was finna just like respect this area to start buying. But I've seen this move before. And many times I was struggling in March and February. I'm thinking prices is gonna buy, but they could never make it past London highs, and that's when it would sell when I was anticipating buy. So I was like, oh, okay, got it. I got you. The same reason why I took sells in gold, and I said, hey, good morning, guys. We anticipated sells. Remember last night in the webinar, I said, hey, we're gonna see sells. Why? We closed out Friday breaking structure, even though this W formation looked like it was solid. Another thing too with gold, by midnight, the break and retest, you get in right here at a break and retest for gold. Many occasions you'll notice that they don't even come back to bother your trade. You just put your stop loss above the break and retest, and they're gonna keep going. Now, this morning when I woke up, I looked at the markets. I saw potential for price to buy as well. But I was like, yeah, that's if price even breaks past this order block, which is London. And sure enough, they tussled a little bit and they started going down, pulled back a little bit. But I was like, well, look, I'm not getting out of this trade unless you break above 45.87. That would be above London. And they never did. And so the theory proved itself to be correct. When price is, I dropped this on the Telegram last week too. Like, how can you tell when the market is going to continue selling? Right? The market wants to continue selling. You'll notice, like, you look to your left, and then, what was it? Monday. Look to your left, 6 a.m., breaking retest, and then they can't even make it past London price action. That's how you know it's going to set. That's how you know it's going to sell. In New York, that's how you know it's going to sell. Very important to pay attention to. Monday, April 27th, market started pushing back. Boom, 8, 9 a.m., makes it into this point here. They tried to buy, they couldn't even make it past nothing up here, which was London. Also, this was what would confirm and validate the lower high instead of price making new momentum to buy. And it's going down. So before you anticipate buys, look left. If price can't even break past London, it's not buying. And they threw that okey doke all February and March. All right, so that's basically the breakdown for today's price action. We could be seeing more sells, but let's say tomorrow we're trying to see if they're going to run the same play. What we're going to be looking for. Well, if we're trading Asia, price can't even make it past this session right now. That's good. Basically going to tell you what you're looking for. All right, look at GBP USD. Now with forex pairs, sometimes it's very tight. But look at this. We can tell this is a break and retest. We can tell it's a lower high, but pay attention to the details because the details is what's going to help you to see it and sometimes make a decision where your stop loss is not even 15 pips for those who still trade forex, right? Price started coming up here, boom, 1035, and it's just not even really breaking above London. So then you drop down to the M1 or M3. And you're going to notice price starts to give off break and retest, break and retest. Okay. That's all I needed to see. Stop loss goes above here. And the rest is history. You know, this trade typically lasts an hour to 3. So if you got in around 10:40, 10:30, 11, you could hold that thing till 12:30. Like you're going to be fine. Obviously, if you want to close partials, that's fine too. If you're scalping, I know you guys are in the futures world, but typically these setups end up playing out until the end of the day or at least till 12:30 if you don't like holding that one. Whenever price respects or sweeps London highs or London lows, the trade ends up playing out. And I know what I'm saying right now sounds a little odd because it's been a while since prices sticking to the script. You like that's one of the main reasons why I would get so frustrated a few months ago. Setups that I know have a whole time on average of an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm like, okay, this is the trade I'm supposed to trust and walk away and go pretend to do other shit just to let my trade run. And then they would just come back and smack me, come back and smack me. I'm like, bro, what's going on? But this is the type of setup that we look for. Now, um, for tomorrow's price action, it looks like we could continue to sell a little bit further into this area, even in Asia, until further notice. But so far, when we spoke about the range, we said that 48, 400, 500 was the range from last Thursday up until now. So if we were to, let's say, sell off into 47, 500 or whatever the case might be, or we end up just sweeping below last week's range right here, we probably continue. We just got to watch out for that. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Quick question again. London session ends at 7 a.m., right? I just wanted to verify.
Yeah, for the most part. Obviously, there's a session changeover that lasts all the way up until like 11 Eastern, but that's like the last piece of London, right? But I always mark out between 3 to 7, 3 to 6.
Mhm.
That's where the most range of like liquidity sweeping or anything that's going to like make any significant reaction to give you what you're looking for between 3 to 6. I'll mark those zones. It works out fine.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Quells, you almost caught it. What happened? Hmm.
No, yeah, I was in a buy. I was really only looking for like $200, 250 to be finished for the day. And
Yeah.
then it was going, but then going slowly. And I'm like, dang, should I just close it? Because it looks like it's not trying to break past this last high. Because that's what I was
Yeah.
looking for. It ended up playing out. I got the 200. I even recorded it. It was so funny. I got the 200 and then I was good. So I made it out safe.
That. Good, good, good. Yeah. We're never gonna get all the trades, but the ones that we study that make the most sense that we can trust to start putting on more size once we're funded or once we get our first payout is gonna play in our favor because these setups they show up all the time. They show up all the time, man.
And you wouldn't even believe it. I caught a sweet oil trade in my sleep. It was so sweet. I couldn't even screenshot it because it all played out while I was sleeping. I went in for a
Well,
buy. It was like
yeah.
I don't know. I think it was like 1 a.m. or something like that. But I've been seeing the buy and I was like, dang, I knew I should have got in earlier. So
Mm.
I just set like a buy stop and a TP. So I woke up, I'm like, oh shoot, 200 something dollars negative. Okay, well, I'm going back to sleep anyways. I'm gonna leave it in God's hand. So it kept shooting up, and then I woke up again. Nothing was on my screen. So that means my challenge failed or the
Right. It's
TP
like, is
cooked.
that what God's hands did?
The TP cooked us, so I'm good.
Okay, good, good.
Nah, it'd
Yep,
Yeah.
be
wait,
funny
right
if
where your
it.
blue line is at. But even I think a little bit lower too, because it went a little bit more higher. But like
Yeah.
yeah, right where your line is at. Yep, like right around there, a little bit lower was my TP.
Okay. Somebody was finna say something. Probably gonna add up to what you
Yeah,
said.
I was just gonna say it'd be funny when you come back to the trade
And you see
and it's
no
gone
trade.
and it's not there. You like always like they catch you off guard like all right, nah, I'm from the go over.
Man, and let the app not freeze for a second or like has to buffer to show you the results. I'm like, yo, hurry up, man. Shit, what happened? Yeah. Trade is life. Trade is life. But yeah, guys, I want to just emphasize the fact that like till this day, go-to
Hi, good
trades are
evening.
important. Go-to trades are important. Like you might understand certain things about the market, you might have the orb strategy or whatever, but there are some setups that you just need to keep studying to make sure when you see it, you're like, oh yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what to do here. And that's what's going to get you to stop caring about other people's results because low key, you got something you cooking up because you know the setup, you know how you can react. It'll make you feel like this my setup, this me right here. When I see it, I know exactly when to be aggressive or you're up for the week and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna risk yesterday's profit, half of it or whatever, to risk on this trade because this trade has a very high potential. It has a 90% potential for me. You know, it's important. Zillion, that must be your child doing this.
Yeah, yeah, that was my girl. That's my baby
Yep.
girl.
They too smart. They way too
Yeah,
smart.
they're too smart, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
last question.
yeah,
Would you say that with the London session being the go-to and the top and bottom of that range, that's like the best, that's your favorite strategy as far as how market reacts to those ranges or to those top and bottom of those ranges? Did I say that
yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that.
Okay.
That was Dejure. Dejure, what the hell you doing, man? You butt riding on the screen, man. Yeah, like I know you haven't been around me for a long time, Dina, but over time we've had different strategies that we can tell keeps repeating, and it would react a certain way, and then we would catch on and be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Okay, we definitely go like. For example, remember a few months ago, every time the market would open on Sundays and we noticed it would rally and rally and rally for 1,200 pips and shit. We're like, okay, by 9 p.m., cool. Don't don't just put in a big lot size and skill in. No problem. Or a few years ago, we would notice that the market will close out to the downside. And then on Monday, with the indices, they would literally just buy back into Friday's range. And we'd be like, oh, okay. That's what you do? All right, cool. And these are just behavioral things. I guess you would fall that would fall into the strategies category, but understanding market structure and realizing that, session sweeps have been a thing for a long time, but not just at the bottom, but also the top. Notice that when price will take out 4 hour highs on Friday, or they'll take out Thursday's highs on Friday, and then Monday or Sunday, they literally sell back in range. That's why some traders, as soon as the market takes out highs on Friday, you see they already in sells in the, around 12:30, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm holding this sell over the weekend. You're like, oh, you bold. Then it ends up playing out. You're like, how did you know? Because they notice the behavior and they take note of it and then they execute it. You get me?
It's part of your videos anyway. Your Friday strategy and stuff Monday.
Yeah.
It's part of the videos and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Man, Zoom has gotten a bit complicated. I'm trying to host tools. All right. Besides that, like how's everything on y'all end? Like The prop firm's not giving y'all too much problems. Okay. As yours said, you still doing good. Just failed my trade if I following somebody else's bias off 2 hours sleep, but loosely good. I know how that is, man. I can't. Yep. All right. Dina, how close are you from payout right now?
300. I was literally 150 away. So, like, and I saw it like my buy, like same thing Shorty said earlier. Like my buy was almost about to hit, and then it reversed on me. I didn't notice that it was rejecting the previous time zone or time session or London session, whatever. I didn't
Mm,
notice that. But like Orb would have said buy, like you said, the hourly, it was rejecting that area. Like I peeped, it was rejecting an hourly sell. So I'm like, okay, it might hit the all time high again. I don't know. But we almost there.
child, I don't know, child.
I got in the sale, but like when I was trying to sell in profit, I promise you my thing glitched on me. It wouldn't let me close my trade in profit.
Mm. And what platform is that?
Apex.
Mm.
Rhythmic. Uh, I don't know. I sent them an email about it, but whatever. It's still a red day. It would have been a red day either way. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Twan, you were gonna say something?
Nah, I don't have a prop firm, so. But I'm curious to know how they work on the future side, though.
Hmm. Well, I'm sure there's a couple experts here that can tell you.
COPD is an ugly reality.
Yeah, so this week is definitely going to be an interesting week.
Dude,
But I will definitely pay attention to this 1 hour low right here.
that is disgusting.
You said that fast. Yeah, just be careful with the okie dokes, man. Just be careful.
Oh man, dude, I'm telling you, dog.
Yeah, trade. That's what y'all
Yeah,
wanted, ain't it?
I'd be falling for the okie dokes, I think.
I just got tired of falling for them. And I was like, you know what? Let me pay attention to how y'all really moving and let me be less reactive and let me pay attention to that last piece. Where the hell is London at? Okay. Y'all can make it past London highs, huh?
It
I
seems like
got something for that.
since the trade is Asia and London.
They just be trading between those ranges. Now, obviously, we can't get caught up in just the minute things. Once price does find like a strong demand, we notice that it does buy. But remember, this is a clear buy side liquidity sweep. This is a break of structure. Price takes out old highs, comes back inside the range. So now, for us to be sure that this is what it's really going to do, so we're not confused, we just got to wait for the price to try and go above old highs and can't. And then that's when we know the sell is in play. Okay. I'm sick and tired of falling for that shit. I have no idea. Yeah. Like I would literally wait for the perfect buy opportunity to start thinking, okay, we're going to start swing trading buys. When I was, with gold, And they would find the perfect little freaking um like right here, and I'm like, yo, why did you guys what happened here? You know, like that would piss me off so bad. Like,
Losing volume for no
yeah, it
reason.
lose volume, and then now it starts to go to the opposite end. This right here, April 2nd, this happened to me too, right here. I'm like, this is a beautiful W formation. I'm looking up here, I'm looking at the inbounds. These fuckers couldn't even make it past this high.
Wait, that's where you got in at?
That was April the 2nd.
Oh,
They
but you didn't
got
get
me
that
good
Monday?
that day. And then I was back to us. I'm like, yo, what stopped y'all? Oh, y'all couldn't make it past London highs? Really? Really? But I'm annoyed, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, okay. You know, woke a monster up, so I'm finna stalk you. I'm gonna stalk your behavior, stalk your behavior, stalk your behavior. But oh shit, okay. Oh, so you just keep repeating this crap. Okay. But next time I see you pulling that move, I know what to do. For example, price
Um,
starts to buy on Thursday, can't make it past Wednesday highs. Oh, that's a counter trade. So, Dina, you were about to say something.
No News Monday. Bye.
yeah.
See, look, Friday, April 10th. I'm sure somebody tried to get in this buy right here. Could it make it past Thursday? No. So it's either the previous day high, they can't make it past it, or the London highs, and that's when you know what to do next.
Yeah, I saw a lot of signals. People were saying buy good in that area at that time, bro.
Yeah,
Before the gap.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was a buy opportunity once it hit London's low today.
Mm-hmm.
Just rejecting off of that low
Yeah, but I
too.
think gold is gonna buy a little back up though.
Yeah, at some point it will, sure.
Yeah.
But not right now. Yeah, Dina, you were saying something.
No, I was just saying, with the sell that I essentially missed the full move up today, it went to the low of London and then bought. So
Yeah,
it
I did
so I was
see that.
saying that's the opportunity, yeah.
Yeah. At the time, it just kept looking like they were rejecting enough to find some bullish volume, but these suckers, man, they
It's building character, man. It's building character. That's all it's doing.
yeah, it does. But remember also last night I said, um, if the setups don't look right, it's okay to skip a couple days. And from what I'm looking, from how I'm seeing things, Wednesdays terrible, Mondays pretty good, Tuesdays not too bad. But by Friday, you'll see if price respects the low enough, they'll buy, and if they buy and take out like Thursday highs or reach Thursday highs, I'm exiting because that's what they've been doing.
Well, you did say last night that it was going to buy around that area, which it did, but it just came down.
Short lived.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, I legit started seeing potentials for buys since it respect that zone. But as I started looking at the market post 9:30, 9:45, because I'm sure you guys were valid enough to take this buy. Like it made sense, right? We have London lows here. You know, we see this beautiful 5 minute W formation. And shit, if you saw it just 2, 3 minutes late, you're trying to get in right here. You're like, that's still good enough with your stop loss below
Yes,
here.
yes,
Valid.
that's the trade I was just telling you that I was gonna
Yeah.
buy for. I wish I caught it all the way at the bottom of the second leg forming, but I still made it out okay. Like I was still good.
Yeah. And that's why I don't judge traders coming in here post market analysis, bench player talking like I was starting on the field. because there's two sides of price action depending on what time you were seeing it. You feel me? And I've been on the other side of me trying to tell somebody how the fuck did this happen, and I didn't see it. They're like, nah, like, how did you not see that? And I'm like, bro, you not seeing this W? Like yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But it's cool. It's Monday. Just I make sure I have these meetings so that way the first loss or the first missed opportunity doesn't start to build up your crash out of the week, you know?
Over leveraging, putting on like 30,000 contracts.
Yeah. Just trying to finish it off and or ended up not making it to payout because like they just kept on fucking with you so much that you end up saying, you know what, you crashing out. Or you just try and take the next bad setup and you just try to make it work.
Yeah, we got news tomorrow, right? What, at 10 or
Or
something?
CPI. Is it
Oh, 8:30?
tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Let me see. Trying to remember. Nah, Jolts. Jolts. Jolts been iffy. Like it usually plays out better by 11. So yeah, let's not forget those two.
ISM, what the hell is that?
ISM manufacturing
Yeah, what
or
is
ISM services. Just know at 10 is gonna be volume because of this type of shit. But we all know we're not gonna see great. Well, shit, these numbers, AI be fabricating some interesting numbers, but we've been stuck around the 6.5 to 6.8 million jobs for the past 3 months. And it ain't like we've added any. Spirit just lost hella people, but that's not going to come into this jobs opening report. Is going to come into the next. But we're having massive job layoffs in many sectors. And people want to just say, oh, yeah, it was Jerome and because he ain't raised rates. I'm not a fanatic for real. It's just that people got to understand, like, I didn't even respond to this other guy on my Facebook last week they were like, yo, he said something about Jerome Powell and the Feds is the biggest threat to the
I
United
saw that.
States. And I'm like, please tell me how that is. Well, he's like, yeah, well, it's you could Google it, brother. You know, it's a private sector. What sector isn't private? And yes, I understand. And man's is reading. He found out what happened, and since I believe Kennedy was against it, sure. But you know how many fucked up other things that the United States has done, or for the sake of money, or the manipulations that we deal with just for the sake of greed. The real true threat to the United States and this economy is corporate greed and massive job layoffs. And no, this current interest rate is not the highest it's ever been. You had to see 1980. And every time you see super high interest rates, I just didn't feel like going back and forth. Like I didn't want to be the educator. I was like, all right, this nigga. But look, other major peaks include 1917, 20%, 1947 following World War II, 13%, 1980 during the stagflation era. Recently, inflation peaked at 9.1 in June 2022 due to the post-pandemic related supply chain issues. Now, inflation is like a faucet, right? And when you drop rates down to zero, that's you opening up the fire hydrant at maximum level. So there's a lot of money, a lot of influx, a lot of injection of liquidity in the markets. What that ends up doing is niggas who already understood and peep game they've been around. They already had a little bit of money before they operated in certain sectors like real estate. They take mad advantage of it. And then the markets, everybody dumps the money into the markets. It's like businesses, people get able to borrow money, which is great the first year. The second year, not too bad. Third year, but the feds now, because they've already printed so much money and now there's a lot of money in the markets, you start to see prices balloon in the real estate. And then people are trying to like they're buying things or they're selling it at record numbers while it's the highest price. Now come around year 4, mind you, the Fed, after they printed so much money, they dropped rates down to 0. Now they have to limit the amount of people and the amount of money that's in circulation. So they have to use what? Inflation rates to go up a little bit more so it can slow down so much activity. Because now we want to always stay right in the middle. If we're doing too much, then that can pose a threat to the economy. If we're doing too little, that can also pose a threat to the economy. We want it to be stimulated just right. Okay. So I'm not saying I'm sitting here enjoying the state of this economy. I'm not. But I understand the effects of shit. Come around year 5, now people are having problems with the loans that they borrow. They borrow too much, or the rates are starting to get a little too difficult because now rates went from 0 to 1.25. If it wasn't locked in, then now the rates of borrowing is costing a little too much. Now, sectors that get affected a lot is the trucking industry, the supply chains. And so we start to notice the grocery prices are going up because of the tariffs. We weren't doing too bad. The rates are actually not as bad, right? 3.25 is not that bad. 2.5 is sweet, but nothing was meant to stay the same price because the value of the dollar is not what it was in the 1980s. So to point fingers at a situation, you really have to see all the different factors that are affecting it. And sometimes that's just not enough to go back and forth with a nigga online. You get me? But one of the worst things that happened was like charging way too much in tariffs. And so the other countries retaliated. And pandemic from 2020 to 2022 really put a toll on a lot of companies, a lot of industries that still have not fully recovered. So now we're seeing debt be passed on to other companies, private equities and things like that. And so for private equities to make the money back, they'll charge you just a little bit more. It's just like when you're reselling something. You try to sell it a little higher than what you bought it for, just so you can make the money off the spread. That's how the economy is doing right now. And for truckers and companies to really distribute, they have to pay the cost. And it's like they're trying to make back the fees that they lost from COVID now. So then they're increasing the prices of goods and services. That's why we're feeling it how we're feeling. Then add oil, the oil crisis to what we're going through right now, and it just makes it a catastrophe. Plus, we have AI that is being used by these companies, and they're basically like doing away. They're shaving off expenses by like letting go of people. So what's happening is like a complete opposite to what we're used to. You have companies having record numbers for the most part in some sectors, and they're also laying off a record number of people. So they're doing good, those companies that don't really need the efficiency of human beings at this point. But now the economy is feeling it because there's not enough people getting income. And so interest rates, even if it goes down to 2, who's going to be able to borrow more money? Those who already had the capacity to do so, those who already had good credit, those who already knew how to make the money shake. And that's why this economy is where it's at right now. It's not because of the feds. And if the feds all of a sudden drop shit down to like 2, that's another massive pump into the markets because that's another injection of liquidity, which again, now they're going to have to give it, let's say, a year or 9 months or whatever until they start to increase rates again because they don't want the money supply to just over balloon because it's going to go right into the real estate market. Then rent is going to go high. And a whole bunch of people who already made hella money are going to keep the profit or not want to sell. So now you're going to have a market where a lot of people are not selling, but then there's a lot of willing buyers and people are going to want to sell their shit for top dollar. And so the average person in the middle can't buy or sell. So now we're stuck again. And that's really why this economy is so tough right now. Rent going up, mortgages going up. People, new generations like us who want to buy houses is becoming a lot harder because income plus the job market is iffy. So folks are kind of hesitant on their decisions. Plus credit card defaulting and bankruptcy, late payments are at an all-time high now that everything is now becoming a lot more expensive than 2020. It would have been a better market if we were not dealing with tariffs and we're not dealing with this supply shock of oil.
I think the tariffs really affected people more so the inflation in 2022, to be honest with you.
Yeah. That tariff came out of left field, bro. It's like, yo.
Aren't they starting to pay, like the federal government starting to pay back these companies regarding tariffs? And what does that mean for us?
That's our hard-earned money. Mind you, we came from 4.5%. We came from 5.2%. And in 2022, we were at 3.25. But in 2023, we also at 5%. In 2022, we came from 0.25%. And that was right after we had dropped rates down to 0. So imagine during these 2 years, whatever you was able to borrow, some people had no business borrowing certain funds, but they took a chance, right? And then when shit started going to 5, that's when it started becoming super, super tough to pay loans back. So you go through 2023 and 2024 with these rates, 2025 with 4.5%, still that's fucking us up. But in 2025, end of 2025, December, up until now, we're at 3.50, right? We're at 3.50. That's a lot better than where we were in 2023.
So I know we're never going to get back to the 2%, right? So what is the new like standard? Like, would you say it's around like 3.5?
I think it is 3. I think we're gonna probably get to 3. But for that reality to happen, I think they're gonna want to change the rules a little bit. They're going to finally get to a point where crypto is mainstream with the banks. There's gonna be a lot of different things that we give up as far as our freedom. And it's gonna get crazy, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Someone said we need another 2008 to reset everything again. Like
It's all a game. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think you're right. they're gonna fabricate something because this is what I found out. And I'm still learning, I'm still reading bit by bit. You notice with the whole spirit situation. Does anybody remember? Shoot, do y'all remember United Airlines?
What happened, or just the brand?
Yeah, do y'all remember the brand?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna start showing our age here, but it's all good. I used to see a couple brands that are no longer here. And consequently, what will happen is like these companies will go bankrupt or they'll get bought out, whatever, whatever. And then another new company will pop up out of nowhere, right? Major carriers, yep, there it is. Major carriers like United and US Airways filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 1, to restructure. There goes that word right there. This whole system is all about restructuring, and they know certain things have like a shelf age. You know what I mean? A shelf life. They know like a company might do very well. Certain companies might do very well for like 5, 10, 15, 30 years. And those who have the connections, sometimes the government will buy those companies out at discount. And then they repackage that motherfucker into a new company with new CEOs and whatever employees were here, they give you severance, they take care of you, whatever. If they're gonna give like a certain amount of people the opportunity to work at this new company. They just keep restructuring, recycling stuff. And that's what private equity and certain hedge funds do. And even quieter companies and stuff like that. So the same goes for when you see like a crash that happens. And so they step in, they print money. Yeah, that money will give the opportunity to, those who were prepared, who are qualified. And then they do it again. They keep doing it and they keep doing it. So those who end up making money are the ones who are either prepared or already was liquid to be part of the new game. And that's what they do. Now, what's interesting to me is, this is honestly fascinating to me. I am a proud Haitian. And I say that to y'all by letting y'all know when I was living in Haiti, my father, he was a journalist. We were upper middle class. So, you know how we would watch, all of us, right? We would watch cartoons and movies. And it was something about a family road trip that everybody was just like, yo, I can't wait to have a road trip, man, like a family road trip. And of course, if you're black and you don't have, a functional family, that might not even be something you even entertain. Now, Caribbeans who are in the upper middle class or whatever, we used to travel, especially if you're working for different government sector jobs or like my dad was a journalist, so like sometimes if they're broadcasting going on, stuff like that, they would pay for his flight to go and like do interviews if Haiti's playing or something's going on with the Lakers or Chicago Bulls. Like my dad would like go to New York, Chicago, do stuff like that. But that was a privilege, and I didn't realize up until recently that it was the same thing in the States. It was a privilege to be traveling. Like American Airlines used to have flights from Chicago to from New York to Florida or in the Midwest and Michigan and stuff like that, Detroit, for business purposes. So that is why till this day, there's a lot of black families, Hispanic families, and regular white folks, to be honest, that never flew ever on a flight because traditionally that wasn't even a thing. Road trips was a thing. That's why you would see, and it would impact the car market too. You would see a lot of families would have wagons for road trips. And yeah, see, never been on a flight with my mom and pops. We, the new generation, really, the last 10, 15 years, that have been such frequent flyers. And the reason being is companies like Spirit, they allowed for low cost carriers to compete and just be a part of like this chain uh of flights. So the flights would allow for the first time, and I heard it yesterday, first generation flyers. Now they opened up the scope and space for cities like Houston, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, and other places, Detroit, blah 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 blah. And now that literally opened the doorways for a new age of flyers, people who are flying domestic, they're able to see the family more, this, that, and the third. And it also opened the space for competing prices that were a lot less luxurious, but just family friendly. Now you see families going on trips more to Florida. It was a luxury to even have a flight down to Florida with your whole family or even out the country to Hawaii. That was like you better be making a lot of money to even be afford to do that. The best thing motherfuckers were affording to do in the early 2000s or even the late 90s was a family road trip. So that also opened the floodgates for like different types of people. You notice a lot of ratchetry going on, folks just traveling with sandals and shit, just, Miami spring break. That wasn't a thing. That was not a thing. So, um, this is what that low carrier uh culture brought, which was amazing. So automatically, when we're doing away with these type of carriers, you'll notice there's a big, yeah, we was rich. So that's why till this day, like some people, when they see you travel and you get on the plane, they be like, "Oh, you got money." And you're like, "The hell you talking about, bro? I just found this Spirit flight for like $60. Shit, I'm just not gonna carry too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I just rotate the one shoe, two sneakers, you know, that wasn't a thing. I remember vividly even in 2016, 2017, when I was like traveling back and forth from DC to Florida just to see my family. And I would literally just be seeing Spirit come up a lot more often and then JetBlue. I'm like, what the hell? Then you'll check American Airlines and then you seen that price and you're like, bro, no. Or you end up finding a better price by removing the carry on, and carry on started going from $15 to $35. I'm like, okay. I thought it was just free carry on. Okay, now carry ons is for $15 and then check in would be for $35. That was the beginning of the greed. But it was funny to me, soon as 2020 hit, and I think they was probably secretly going through it already, the airlines business all of a sudden, a lot of the airlines needed a bailout. They were going bankrupt. And I'm like, for the amount of money y'all making, along with the surcharges that y'all doing by sneaking and jacking up prices with the luggages and shit, how the hell y'all still not making enough money to stay afloat? Then boom, they get bought out or a stimulus package gets printed, which allows for all of these companies to not lose out on their business. and it just goes right into the markets. To this day, you'll see like some stocks just never really fully recovered. American Airlines is still doing good because they're like, I think they have a 80% um cover of the market, like the airlines market. But time and
I
time
was gonna
again,
ask you too about that, Hans, if you ever did spirits, but you just answered.
hell yeah, boy, I'd be on Spirit Flex like a bad habit. My family used to laugh at me too. Be like, which flight did you catch? Spirit? I know you love your Spirit. But I'll be telling them, yo, I don't care who flies me from point A to point B, as long as I make it there with some good price, like as long as the price made sense, as long as the price is right. Like anybody, I'm a hoe when it comes to flying. Like, hey, whoever try to take me there. Just
Hey,
don't charge me too much.
what's the deal with all those memes that people be saying about Spirit? Like the plane's gonna start breaking down and shit like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, how
Spirit,
was you doing that, Hans? Because I'm hearing spirit was ghetto. I never did spirit. Never.
yo, you just like my wife. I didn't care. She wants the American Airlines experience. Why? Because American Airlines was always the staple, the standard, and that's what a lot of Haitians are used to. When we came to the States, the most popular airline was American Airlines. And shit, American Airlines made sure that they made themselves the American way to fly. Like you know how Americans got mad pride. And so when you fly on American Airlines, you like, yeah, nigga, yeah, we made it. Like, yeah, I
We
got here
made
off the AA.
it.
Yeah.
Spirit is only ghetto when you fly out when you fly out of Philly. They got terrible customer service out of Philly. I don't have too much issues when I fly Spirit from DC or Fort Lauderdale. They're a little bit more charismatic, but they're gonna jack up the prices. And I've been in a few back and forth with Spirit when they're like, "Oh, sir, can you put your bag right here?" And I used to have this bag where I knew I put just the exact amount of shit so it could fit in there. And somebody ended up trying me, and I was mad as hell because she was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be $75." I'm like, "What the? Hey, no. Well, it's either you miss your flight or blah 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 blah." All right, y'all got me today. Fuck y'all though, right? So then I started seeing them sneaking up on trying to like randomly choose people to charge them for their bags. And I'm like, yeah, y'all not finna be around for too long. Yeah. Air Canada. Yeah. So, but it's very ironic to me that a lot of these airways, these companies, they lost a lot of money and they were still jacking up prices. And it just shows the balance sheet just did not match, man. A lot of people, I don't know what they're doing with these airlines, but this is not good news for us because when you don't have healthy competition, they're just going to jack up the prices and we don't have no options to compete, you know?
Just like
So,
the PlayStations.
right. Whatever the price is the price. So, um, this is the backstory of a lot of America's um system just defaulting on credit and repackaging the same product with a new name, with a new brand. Y'all remember Wachovia?
Nah.
They said spirit was just like Soul Plane.
Oh snap! Wasn't that a bank?
Yes,
Oh shit.
Remember
it
that?
was not like Soul Plane.
Well, I wouldn't know, but that's what they say.
Oh my God. What did you say, Dina? Yeah, Wachovia turned into
I think
Wells
I used to
Fargo.
have Wachovia. I used to have a
Yeah.
I used to have it before they switched it.
They switched that shit. Yeah, you remember this card.
What the fuck? I don't remember that shit, though.
Yeah.
It sounds like a distant dream. It feels like
Yeah.
a distant dream now,
Yeah.
like a fever dream.
I know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but Wachovia was in PA. It was all over. So yeah, that is America for you. There's a lot of acquisitions that happen at discount, and then they just they see they had a significant presence in Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Maryland, Pennsylvania. It doesn't seem like Boston is here. Massachusetts is here. Yeah. Headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, Charlotte is the hub for a lot of bank headquarters, if y'all didn't know. So yeah, it's just been interesting the last 30 years, what's been happening, what companies, what greed has done, and what companies have also bought out and stayed in the game as like the spearheaders, um the titans.
I have a side question.
Yeah.
Do you have a dividend stock portfolio?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever give like game on like what stock dividend stocks to look at or have
Real
recommendations?
estate REITs are one of the best ones.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with REITs, and Charles Schwab will put you on. But the mall, Simon Group, great dividend stock. Let me show you what it's given. It's given 4.29% annual dividend yield. It's nice. You want to go with like companies that you know are boring and they have great yields and they're not going anywhere. Typically, REITs will give you the best percentage in yields. So yeah, I think a lot of these airlines they try to make back their gains from COVID because people were like, and you got to remember too, guys, from 2020 to 2021, we spent a good year without traveling much. So I think that really impacted the airline company. Hmm. Apple was a nice boy. Yeah. Anyhow, let's stay locked in. Does anybody have any other questions? Think we're gonna see continuations tomorrow. We might go and take out Friday lows right here.
No crashing out.
No crashing out.
On gold, bro. When do you think we can get your entry on gold? Why you laughing?
No,
Is he thinking about clapping? That's a clapping question, right? Go gonna clap.
oh shit.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm thinking that we're gonna retrace back to that area though. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't
area
know.
I'm waiting to see how price retraces back into it. But
Oh,
gold has this very interesting tendency of pulling back by 8, 9, or 12 a.m. Eastern. to give you the opportunity you're looking for.
Mm.
Yeah, sometimes I doubt it. Like you be noticing price. I remember Quells caught the sell and bought a little bit, bought back, made this small area of supply, but this was
Mm.
around 12 to 1 in the morning. And that's 6, 7 in the morning for you. So keep in mind of those 12 a.m. retracements.
Yeah, I missed that first draw because I was waiting for retracement back to that almost to the eye,
Yeah, yeah, and they
So
didn't do it. Yeah,
he did it, so I caught the other one. Damn it.
yeah, yeah. I be hating stuff like that. Cause look, I sat here, looked at price on Sunday, Monday, went to sleep. Then 12:30 in the morning, that's when they came to retest Friday
Mm.
highs,
You
and then
see,
they started selling. Oh, while I was sleeping, I'm waking up right here, and I'm kind of not wanting to take that type of trade. But then that's
yeah,
when it taught me to remember, hey, if price is retracing and it's just respecting and haven't broken past London highs, you are still liable to take the trade for sales. Okay.
that was exactly what I was waiting for, that retest on the
Mm-hmm.
top side. Yeah, but it did come true, so that was why I missed the first drop. And that was so painful, bro.
I bet. If the retest happens between 8, you continue to see price moving like this around 12 a.m., which is 6 a.m. your time, take the trade, just put your stop loss fairly. Give it like 150 pip stop.
Mm.
I know, but you're gonna have to decrease.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
But should be
Okay,
moving
clap.
600 pips though. So
Yeah.
think about that. 800 pips, 900 pips.
That drawdown's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even pull that, bro. That 12
It's sad. Sometimes they
a.m.
don't give you that pullback. They just
Yeah,
just keep going.
yeah, bro. So when by 12 a.m. you see prices kind of consolidating like that, you know that's a rally-based rally or drop-based drop, right? Tom?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's annoying when you've been trading so long. Like, yes, bro, that's 2020 shit. I don't remember them 2020, but it's still here. Drop base drop. They keep that shit tight. And then they sell. So sometimes I be hating them, man. You sure I'm not gonna get in here? You just gonna I'm like, I'll be hesitant, but really I should not. All I have to do is just make sure I put my stop loss above this high and just give it 3 hours.
Yo, what time frame do you enter on? Like, do you? Because I just see you just be entering on any time frame.
Not really.
Like
My time frame of entry is 15 minute
15.
or or the 3
15,
and the
5 minutes.
5. I'm looking for
Yeah.
refinement in the 3 and the 5.
Mm.
But if I'm looking at the market from a 4 hour perspective and I see prices like already rejected 1 hour lows, at that point it don't freaking matter
This,
where I enter if I'm seeing prices still close to the zone where I can put my stop loss above the protected highs. You get me?
Yeah,
So that's what it is.
because over here it's a little bit different. You got to find the right risk because you can't just be entering on the 30-minute time frame because that shit's gonna be crazy, man.
No, that's why you got to know your refined zones, like the
Yeah,
3 minute, the 1 minute. But after they done already like retested the session highs, then you know, like if you put your stop loss, you're good. Yeah.
mm.
I think I'm gonna start trading gold again. See, now I'm not gonna do it. Y'all laughing, man. I'm not gonna do it. I
Anybody
think.
heard the jazz?
Yeah, you can come back
Jazz
to
started
good, bro.
getting louder.
Nah, y'all are trolling over there, man. I'm all set.
Washington Mutual. Yes, that's what it was before it was Wachovia. I was trying to remember. But we had an old head here to remember. Going to pick up the kids. We'll lose until I'm back, and if I find you again, okay. Yeah,
They had 6% interest on their savings account.
yeah, they couldn't keep that up. That was just,
That's what
yeah.
bought them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they was throwing wild numbers. It's a lot of mistakes that have been made by the higher ups, but they also feel invincible, and sometimes they're part of different. This is how I see a lot of industries and institutions because they know they can get bailed out, and because they know by the time the game is over, they'll just have enough spread to start a new company, or they have enough connections and network to venture off. They essentially don't care as much because they'll be good either way. They'll be a lot better off. It's the same way I see too. Some people take the craziest risk knowing that, hey, if they take a 5-year jail sentence, their family gonna be good. They've already did the bid, like they did enough to cover whatever they gonna be sitting here for, and then they gonna be all right. Like a lot of Americans in these sectors, they take those type of risks. They got good lawyers. They know, like, hey, some shit happens. I made the sacrifice. That's the type of shit people don't talk about. But yeah. Anyways. We are in the month of May. I'm not expecting gold, for instance, to be bullish until maybe the end of July. So y'all be careful anticipating huge buy opportunities. Yeah. If you see a buy opportunity, yes, but don't think that's the start of this of the start of
rally.
the trend. Yeah, the rally. Like you might see a rally, but they might come back.
She'll lose volume quick.
Yeah. We don't want to trade with fear, but we have to start paying attention to what the usual months bring us. Last year, we saw price made it to a strong demand on the 4-hour. And then we rallied nicely, but it was always like towards Mondays, right? Mondays, we would see nice rallies and stuff. And for the most part, it wasn't too bad of a month of May for oh my goodness. Hello. Yes, could you give me a second? I'm doing a webinar on my students. All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna close it out right here. Got a couple business meetings to attend to, but we'll hear from each other again. We definitely see sells with the markets. I'll keep an eye out and see if I can call out a trade or something, but for the most part, we are seeing a bit of a drop base. And so if we come up here just tad, sweep up here, we're going to take sells. All right. So let's keep eyes connected. I think tonight's London session, I should not sleep for because this could easily happen in London. And then I wake up like, yeah, this happened a few times. Tuesday night, I wake up, no opportunity. So I might be staying up for London tonight. All right.
Hans, it's finished.
Just finishing.
I just came back.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So once this is recorded, I will give it. I'll send it to the chat. Okay, guys?
All right, Hans. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Enjoy your day. Tell Wifey I said hi.
Got you. We'll do.